Recording in progress.
Yo, what's good? What's good, everybody? I'm your boy Trey Frazier, and I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome, welcome. It's another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. You can follow us live right now on our YouTube channel, our Twitter page at Barbershop SPOR2, and also on our Facebook page. Also follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Hey man, what's going on, man? How you feeling today?
Good, man. Good, man. Hey, man. I'm. This is a great time to celebrate. Celebrate a young player by the name of Jaylen Brown, man. It's a great time. I don't know if you know.
I missed this.
Okay, I don't know who. And maybe you're not familiar because I know you don't be on social media, Jai. Like, are you familiar with Bernice Burgos?
No.
Okay, Bernice Burgos is one of the baddest joints in the game. She about she a grandma. She about 40, somewhere in that 40, about our age, to be honest.
Okay,
But
yeah. All right.
obviously it's been he came out with a little picture of him and her, whatever.
Yeah.
And they was the talk was about the age disparity because he like 25, she like 40, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here to celebrate the young player because listen here, man.
He got sugar mama.
But more than that, like it ain't too many Bernices in the world, bruh. It ain't too many of them.
Okay.
Shorty is bad, like maybe one of the most beautiful women in the world, and you know what I'm saying, and I don't know how, or and don't really care, but for the young player to bag that, I gotta clap it up for my man. Okay. I'm happy for him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's not no slouch. That's not no slouch chick. I mean, I don't know her personally, but just off the physical, that ain't no slouch chick, Slim. So salute to my man, Jaylen Brown. I know, I be having a lot of on-court criticism, but off the court,
hey.
Yes, sir.
Hey, whatever rocks your boat, Jaylen Brown. No hate on this side.
Anybody who got anything negative to say about Slim bagging her, you a hater. You a hater. I mean, flat out.
Do your thing.
A damn hater.
Do your thing, Jaylen Brown. On the 2nd of March. This is Women's Appreciation Month, from what I heard.
Man, and what a woman to appreciate.
Yeah. Shout
out to both of them though, for real.
Yeah. Facts. That's what's up.
Shorty like that. Yeah.
Nah, that's what's up. That's
I mean,
what's up.
Yeah. Shout out there.
That's what's up. But speaking
what's good with you though?
I'm good, man. It's a little later in the week than when we normally, do this thing, but all praises due. Everybody's well, kids, wifey's well, family is good and all that stuff, man. So no complaints on this side, man. And speaking of Women's Appreciation Month, we got a special guest tonight who was on our show last year. Wanted to bring her back on, and this is special because she's in the area here, and that's always great. But Lizz Robbins, who's a former model, Jet Beauty of the Week, used to throw parties in DC some years ago. She's coming on with us. We're gonna talk some Washington Commanders. That's a football team. We're gonna talk some Knicks, the basketball team. Doing some good things right now, and get into some other stuff. Deion had some comments over the week. Some other stuff that we could get into. So looking forward to her coming on probably about the next 5 minutes or so. I'll leave the floor to you, my brother.
I don't know, man. I thought you was. When you said Deion, I was ready to go straight to Deion because that's what's been on my mind as far as topics.
Okay.
So I mean, we can go straight there, man. We can go straight to Deion, because for me, obviously, he did an interview with Rich Eisen. I don't know if you watched the whole interview or watched the clip, but it don't matter.
I watched the clip.
But I went and watched the interview, but it don't really matter. It's not the statement is still the statement. Whether
there was nothing left out of context. Like if you listen to the whole thing,
right. Mm-hmm. So he made some comments basically saying that the type of players that he's looking for, quarterbacks, 2-parent households, 3.5 GPA, no off the field issues. Whereas, D linemen, we looking for something a little different, single parent home. I guess the shock factor is mentioning 1- and 2-parent households. I guess that's the shock factor. I guess the Section 8, those kind of buzzwords that got social media in a tizzy. If I'm being honest, when I thought about it, I thought about it, and obviously shout out to the young lady on Twitter who brought it to our attention. I thought about it, and I was just like, I heard all I heard were at first was buzzwords. Section 8, single parent households, gotta get it, poor poverty, those types of things. I heard those buzzwords, right, and thought immediately like, But when I really listened to the whole interview, I guess, and not that the whole interview had anything, it didn't necessarily change his, what he said, but I don't know. I guess it just gave me more time to think about it. And here's what I think.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking for, then that's what you're looking for, right? And it's not necessarily that he's saying, if the quarterback is in a single parent household, we're not going to recruit him. It's not like he's saying if the D lineman, ain't broke or didn't come up in poverty and didn't, it's not like he's saying, this is what we set on and that's what it's going to be regardless. He's just saying that he's speaking to a mentality. Yeah. Do I like that he said it that way in front of white people? No. I mean, I guess maybe I would have did it different had I been in his shoes, but we know who Deion Sanders is. Deion Sanders is going to talk that shit on TV, and he going to be him, and that's just what it's going to be. I was scrolling through Instagram just before the show, and I saw that he is now getting backlash for speaking in a Colorado meeting about how the band should adapt more HBCU band principles.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen to it yet, but you was coming on right as I was about to listen to it. But like, what's really wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's really wrong outside of the fact that Colorado's not an HBCU? Why shouldn't they adapt more? What's wrong with adapting more HBCU like principles as far as how you approach band and music? When Black music is the center of music universe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So I took a couple things from it, and let me give a quick shout out to Rita, the NFL chick, because I first heard this from her on my way to dropping my grandmother off back at the house Sunday afternoon. We're riding in the car, and she's doing her radio show Sunday afternoon. And I kind of agree with what she said at first. So 2 things for me. Number 1, I think Deion said exactly what these white coaches and other scouts and personnel have been thinking, and have been thinking for, so many years up to this point.
Sure.
Number 2, I don't like that he phrased it the way he phrased it. I think about single family homes, and as a person that grew up in a single family home, over the years I've learned that every single family home is structured differently. Every 2-parent home is structured differently. Just because you have both parents in the house doesn't mean that all is well and good. Just because you in a single family home doesn't mean that everything is oh so bad. Everybody has different lifestyles, different parents, personalities, siblings. I think, you know, the number of siblings versus if you're only child, that kind of plays a part in whatever household you're in, whether it's single parent or dual parent. I think that there's and I think trauma is the wrong word to use, but I think there's two types of trauma when you're, you know, growing up like in the hood or something like that. I think that there's trauma within a household, which could be generational trauma, and I think that there's trauma in the streets. So, and I'll give you an example. So, in the streets for me, that was a challenge. You know, growing up in the hood, that was the challenge. But when I got home, I felt like all was well because me and moms had a great relationship, and you know, I grew up to become the person that I am today.
Okay.
So I think what Deion said was a bit.
Not the Knicks, though.
Yes, sir. And not to, you know, and I'll put a button on this since we got our guest coming on. I just didn't like the way he phrased that because it just gives off the bad notion that if you're in a single parent home that you can't be a quarterback, like you can't be of high IQ, you can't, you know, average a 3-point whatever GPA in college. Like, to me, I can't rock with that. I can't rock with the words that he said. For me.
Well, I got a rebuttal, but I'm gonna bring it. But I'm gonna let the guest go.
Let's go.
Bring the guest in.
Let's go.
Right.
Let's go. She's got the Knicks background. She's ready to go. We had her on last year. We decided to bring her back on this year. Former Jet Beauty of the Week, former model, DC area, Maryland native. Lizz Robbins is in the building. Liz, thank you so much. Welcome back. Liz's locker room. Let's put that out there. Liz's locker room. How you feeling? What's going on? Hopefully she got her audio going. Oh, she's still working out some kinks. Okay.
Can she hear us? No. Okay.
Yeah, she's working out some stuff there. But
I'm gonna rebut. I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
take this
Go ahead.
time to rebut.
Go ahead.
All right. I was ready to shoot, but then she came in. So all right. So forgive me if I'm kind of all over the place real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So do you agree that if there was a choice, you would rather grow up in a single parent household than in a 2-parent household than a single parent household, correct?
Yes, of course.
That's the overall consensus.
Of course.
Because studies show of probabilities of how that person could, you know, achieve in life and all those types of things, right? We agree on all that, right?
Yep.
All right. So we also agree that the quarterback slot, that's like you want somebody who's kind of got their shit together. And if you can have your shit together as a child based on the 2-parent household that studies show, then probability wise, you would have your shit together as, you know, grooming yourself to be a quarterback. I think we put too much focus on what he was actually saying, like the verbatim words, as opposed to what I think he's speaking to, which is mentality.
Yeah.
Mentality meaning you got to be to play football and constantly have to hit somebody or want to hit somebody and that type of thing. You got to be a different type of motherfucker to want to be hitting people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. Look, I grew up in a single parent household for my life, and I don't want to be hitting people. I don't want to do it. So, and that's just me. And I like to think that I lived an okay life. My point in saying is that when you talk about mentality, you kind of do, if your job is to consistently go out and hit somebody and put your physical body in danger, you kind of do want somebody that's willing to do that.
Okay.
And for instance,
But shouldn't that be regardless of what household they come from or what their surroundings come from?
No, because let's be clear that the game of football, the game of it, that's not something that if you could do something better and make the same amount of money, you shouldn't want to play football. Does that make sense?
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Like for
I
instance,
agree with that.
for instance, me and you've had this conversation on several occasions. You don't want your son to play football.
Yep.
Period. Irregardless if he wants to play, irregardless, you don't want him to play football because you wouldn't want to put your son in a situation where he could hurt himself. You would rather him make his money in a way where he's not worrying about, 30, 40, his body breaking down because he's taken X amount of hits since he was 6 years old. So what I'm saying is that in order to do that, you gotta be in order to say to make up in your mind, I'm gonna go out there and put my body on the line every single day, hitting people, and I'm talking about in terms of defensive linemen, that type of thing. You gotta be a different type of person, and probabilities would state. And look, I ain't no statistician. I don't know if it's 100% fact, but I'd be willing to bet that somebody who came up in poverty is a little more willing to put their body on the line to get their peoples out of a bad situation than somebody who doesn't. Now, again, that's not to say somebody broke can't be a quarterback and somebody rich can't be a D lineman. We're just talking about mentality. If you in a two-parent household and got the mentality of I'm willing to put my body on the line to get out, to make my, off the field life better, then by all means. I mean, I'm sure that there are plenty of D linemen that grew up in two-parent households and all those types of things, Joey, and they're good defensive linemen. I'm sure that there are people in the quarterback situation who grew up in single-parent households and was like, you know what, I ain't necessarily trying to go hitting people, but I do possess the IQ to play quarterback.
Right.
And I ain't getting in no trouble, or I might be getting in trouble, but I play the quarterback position well. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I think, if you on surface value, I could get why people have an issue with what Deion said. But in the terms of what you're looking for as far as a mentality in a quarterback or a D lineman, or you know what I'm saying? I mean, like for instance, a wide receiver, you would want your wide receiver to be cocky.
Yeah.
You want a cocky wide receiver. You want somebody that feel like...
But, and I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But should we base that off of his upbringing, whether it's two or one parent household? I don't know that we should. I don't know that we should base it off of who his parents are or lack thereof.
No, but that's the thing. I think we're getting too caught in the words. It's not necessarily. Those were just examples that he was leading. It's not. I don't think that Deion Sanders literally goes to a quarterback and says, "Hey, do you have two parents in your household?"
But so why would he throw those words out there? I guess to rebut.
Because he's talking about a mentality and not a necessary list of things that not a criteria. Okay. We're talking about a mentality.
So, and I guess my response to that would be, and maybe you said it earlier in your statement, the mentality, whether a kid is raised by single parent or and before I get a little bit deeper, I don't want to act like growing up in a single parent home, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have other grown up influences that maybe are around, maybe an uncle, an older cousin, or something like that. Yeah. I wanted to make sure I put that out there. But I think the mentality of it, you're right. I do think that there is a mentality between wanting to be a quarterback and wanting to play defensive lineman, offensive lineman, wide receiver. I do think that. But I don't think the criteria should be, who raised you.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not a criteria.
Yeah.
I don't think he said that as a criteria. I think he said that as a mentality because mentality, and when you talk about mentality on a statistic probability scale, somebody who is in a two-parent household who has that guidance
Mm-hmm.
is more likely to do better. It's not that person that doesn't, who quote unquote doesn't have the guidance can't.
Right.
We're just talking about probabilities.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So probabilities to a mentality. So I don't think he goes to that. I don't think when he goes to sit down with these parents to recruit, he walks into a quarterback's parents' house and be like, "Oh, is this you here?" Oh, nah, and rolls out. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's that situation. I think that he's saying he's looking for a mentality, and some of those points he was making makes the probability higher of getting the type of quarterback that he's looking for, as far as having the IQ to play quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I think we got Liz. I think we got her audio working. I think she couldn't hear us. And we were kind of texting back and forth trying to, work some audio issues out, but she hears us now, so let me just get through this again here. So welcome back, Liz, aka Liz's Locker Room. We finally got the Twitter handle back. Former model, former Jet Beauty of the Week, Maryland native, DC area native. Liz, welcome back. We appreciate you.
Welcome back.
How you doing?
Thank you. Hello. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. It's been a year. It's been a year for you.
Has it been a year?
It's been a year. It's been a year.
Wow.
It's been a year. Yeah.
I think you're right, because when I was on here last time, I was still at my other account.
Yeah.
I didn't have this one back, so.
That's right.
I almost had this one back for a year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on getting that account back.
Thank you. It was hard work.
I was talking
4
to Elon.
Years.
I was talking to Elon for you. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you. Get a Tesla and everything?
No, not yet. We're still talking about it. How's everything been? How you been?
Everything is well. Just, living day to day, keeping my head above water, good times.
I can dig it.
And surviving.
I can dig it.
No doubt. So since you didn't hear us, we were in the middle of discussing the Deion Sanders comments about the quarterback position coming from a dual parent household versus offensive linemen coming from a single parent household. Now, I'm sure you had a chance to look at the clip or the entire interview. So I wanted to get your thoughts on what he had to say.
I'll be, transparent. I didn't look at the entire video, but I did look at the clip. And going back, I did realize this isn't a new thing that he said. He said it a few times, so it seems like that's his mantra, his thing. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I can get why got people upset, especially when you have the people around chuckling. It's almost like, hey, they're listening in on our private conversations. But in another kind of thing, I'm glad it's out in the open, because we know those things are happening. Yeah. And we know there's those thoughts behind the scene. And I think Deion has that mentality, and this is just my thought, not speaking for him, but he's heard that before. It's been kind of passed down. And I think a lot of the recruiters, I think even Florida State coach, Bobby Bowden.
Yeah. Bowden.
Yes. Yeah. So and I did some more research. He actually has said something similar, but it was a little more, hey, wait a minute.
A little more cringy.
Say here, where are you going with it? But I do think, talent is talent regardless. Yeah. Whether it's 2-parent, 1-parent, there's adopted, foster children. There's a lot of children who come from backgrounds that may give them a little more hunger, but that could also be the case with the 2-parent. Mm-hmm. You could have, my parents are this, or my parents are successful, so I need to, meet this level. Right. So they're going to have just as much pressure and just as much hunger to get to that level. So I think it's kind of it can almost be a case-by-case basis.
I think it's absolutely that.
Know?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely
but that. I think, with him kind of putting it out there, it may also look, have some of the recruits look at him, in a different light. Like, this is what you're thinking of, or this is your mentality about me. Well, let me come prove you wrong, as this person coming from this 2-parent household. Right. I am hungry.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I agree with you that it is certainly a case by case situation. What I was saying to Trey is that I don't even think he's necessarily I don't think he goes into parents' households and say, "Oh, it's just you here." And you can't play quarterback for my. I think he's talking about more of a mentality, and with that mentality, I guess statistics would show that a person who has that type of a background is more likely to have that hunger, which I don't know that I don't disagree with. I mean, could he? And there's really no way to word it different. I mean, and also at the end of the day, he's playing it up for the camera. Yeah. We know that Deion Sanders is prime time. We know who he is. He's not gonna go in there and be fickle about anything. He's gonna go in there and say it how he want to say it because he knows that that's getting headlines. And let's be clear, he's trying to turn a franchise and yet another franchise into a top franchise in college football. So I mean, I think he's speaking more to mentality and not necessarily criteria.
Right. Yeah, I agree as well. And I think, again, going back, he said it several times. So to have this instant be blown up and those other instances, I'm like, this is a repetitive. This isn't new.
Yeah.
So why is this in particular? And I think it's because of the environment and the chuckles. And I think it just made people feel uncomfortable. And I saw a few, Black journalists tweet and comment on that was the company.
You know what? The chuckles was a trigger for people too. I forgot about that. There was some laughter in the background, and folks were a little bit perturbed by that.
Yeah, so that's a lot of what I saw, because again, I said it, like he said it before, but watching the clip, you hear him say it, then it's the ha 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 ha, and it's the point. Why are you laughing?
Right.
Or what does your laugh mean? Where are you going with that?
Right.
Let's talk about it. It's like when somebody clowning, it's like, what? Not you.
Yeah.
He can clown because this is family. You're not
Rich
family.
Eyes, right? And Rich Eyes
Rich Eyes and his family to him, yeah.
Right.
But he ain't family.
Right, family to the outside. That's what I'm talking about. He felt comfortable with Rich Eisen. I love Rich Eisen. He is awesome. I think from just watching the replies, that's what a lot of the people pointed out that upset them, even some more than the comment. Because again, he said it. It's nothing. It's nothing he hasn't said before.
I think you had the best answer, Liz. That it's a case by case situation. For me, and I said it earlier, that you could grow up in a dual parent household, but if you in the streets could snatch you up just like that when you got two parents. When you got one parent, streets can snatch you up just like that. I think there's two different types of drama. Yeah.
The movie Boys in the Hood, and everybody knows the gentleman who stuck his the gun out the car and shot Ricky.
Yeah.
2-parent home, Beverly Hills High School, friends with Quincy Jones' son, acting career, but he used to catch the bus to go to Crenshaw. He chose to join the gang. He chose to be gangster. Murdered 3 people, life in prison, murdered in jail.
Wow.
So that's why.
When did you find this stuff, girl?
Yeah, I mean it. When I, first learned about the story, it blew me away.
Yeah.
It blew me away because you would have never known. Like, he had that one role and it was so intense.
Yeah.
He didn't even say any words, but we don't forget it. We haven't forgotten it.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought he was acting.
He was getting roles based on that.
Right.
But, hey, I'm going to catch the bus, go to Crenshaw, I'm going to become a Crip, get a tattoo on my face, and you're a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Nobody knew that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of proves the point. Yeah. You could easily get sucked up by them streets. You know,
Right.
it don't matter who you raised by. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be two parents, it could be single mother, single father, single mother with the uncle on the side. Like it doesn't matter. You know. Go ahead,
So
Maestro.
I was saying, getting back to Deion getting back to Deion. So I guess my new question is, because you bring up an interesting point about the white folk laughing. Just what it is, the white folk laughing. Trey, or I guess it's a question for the room. Does that make you feel any way more, or does it make you feel like he's maybe shouldn't have said it because of the laughter? Is he to blame because they laughed?
No, not
I
at
don't
all.
think so.
He said what he said. When something comes out of your mouth, you can maybe anticipate the reaction you're going to get, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
So I definitely wouldn't. And I've seen, tweets and commentary about that. Oh, we shouldn't have said it in front of the, and I don't think it matters here. But again, I just think people took offense to the laughter from what I saw.
Yeah. And obviously
I personally didn't take it.
Yeah. And I can't question the hearts of men, but I mean, and I pose to you, Trey.
Yeah.
How did you perceive the laugh? Because I just thought everybody was having a good old time.
I wasn't offended by the laugh. But it kind of harkens me back to, this is something that, what Deion said, this is something that scouts, coaches, especially white coaches in college football, these are things that they've thought about for so many years, and it's just now Deion has just kind of put that to the forefront. So when I think about that, and I think about the laughter part about it, it's they're laughing, maybe not so much that because they know Deion and they're just kind of having their own conversation in their own space, but that they probably know as well. Like, this is probably the criteria that these coaches use when they're out recruiting for players.
So do you think they were laughing at the fact that it was true, or that he just told a funny joke? I think that's what it really boils down to.
I'm gonna lean more towards that they know it's true.
Okay. So then my next question is,
Yep.
Do you think that, let's take Deion out of it, do you think, I don't know, Nick Saban goes into a single parent home of a quarterback in high school and says, "Where your daddy at? He ain't here. You can't come play quarterback for us."
I don't think he says those words.
I mean, obviously not at that extreme, Trey. I'm just saying, like, do you think that they really do? A high school student who's balling out of control, who's clearly the best quarterback, but he just happens to have a single parent. Do you think Nick Saban doesn't bring that, that recruit to Alabama because his daddy ain't there?
I think he does bring him. I think because, like you said, he sees those things in the quarterback, in that player, despite the living conditions. I think he sees that. But I think didn't. Well, let me finish.
Okay.
I think if he didn't see that, then I think the next step for him would be, okay, what's the environment? Who's in his life? How many siblings does he have? Who's his dad? Who's his mom? Like, I think it goes to that extreme if he can't get a gauge for if this guy's got the right IQ or not.
Okay. I was about to open that up, but it's kind of hard for me to say. It's kind of hard for me to say that because if we agree, okay. I think you're still speaking from the perspective that you feel like that's a coach's criteria. A quarterback has to have a 2-parent household in order for a coach to recruit a player. I don't think that's true.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's the only criteria that they're using. I think it's some of the criteria, and I think Deion's comments kind of brought it to light to some people that maybe, was in shock that he even said it.
All right. Liz.
What do you think?
It actually, what what you said made me think of Allen Iverson's Hall of Fame speech. That he was great at football and he was getting recruited for football until that bowling alley incident happened. And then we all know what happened after that. So I'm wondering if the, recruiters came, he said he was getting recruited. He was in a single parent, household at the time. So was it something they looked at? And then of course the incident happened and that just all kind of went out the window. And then he's like, hey, I was the best football player in the state, and here I am giving a speech as a Hall of Famer for basketball. So it just kind of popped in my head. But I think for anyone, they look at the home environment regardless. I think it does. Talent is talent, and again, case by case. But I think they take that into some type of consideration, but not necessarily for recruiting, whether they can play or not, but who is the person that they're dealing with, getting some background. Who, was there any type of, domestic issues in the house or, and just anything else, any type of things that they went through, as children, a lot of siblings. And I do think but they look at all that.
I think it's more about the recruits knowing how do we need to support this kid when he comes to our school.
Right. And
not necessarily about, he's not going to be able to play quarterback because of these things. But if he's to play quarterback for us, then how do we support this guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess to kind of put a button on it. I don't want kids to think that, if you grow up in a single parent household that they can't play the position of quarterback. I don't want kids to think that.
I'm sure kids don't feel that way. I'll be honest with you, I'm sure kids don't feel that way.
I think some don't, but I think some might. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. I'd say it's a low probability, but of course it's possible.
Of course. So,
can I go get some water while y'all talk about y'all Knicks?
Well, actually, I thought you were serious, but you over here trying to joke. But
I get some water.
Look, so before I get into sports, I want to throw an audible at you, Liz, and I want to give a quick shout out to Rita, the NFL chick. We had her on our podcast last year also. And over the year, I learned that you two know each other quite well. I've seen some pictures of you guys floating around on Twitter. Matter of fact, I think I saw you and her on Roland Martin's show from some years back. Dive into that for us. Give us a little bit of history between you and Rita. Cause,
I love her. I absolutely love her. And, for all the, bad of Twitter, there's the good of Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Rita through there, and we've been friends for over 10 years. She's come to family events. We've done sporting events together, and her sports knowledge is just through the roof.
Yeah.
And to see the opportunities that's coming about, she deserves them. She's amazing. I mean, just to listen to her talk and her excitement about the game is just, you're like, whoa. And she's straightforward, direct, and I'm hoping to see more opportunities. I want to see her on TV. Sure. I want to see her on the sideline, and I think she could do it. I think she'd
I think she's on her way.
Yeah. She's a star already in my book.
Yes.
I mean, brother from another, like the first time she did it, and then they asked her back a second, third, fourth time, and then it goes from that to her actually, co-hosting it with someone else. Like that's some huge props to her for that.
Just natural talent. Yeah. Some people just have that, and she has it.
I agree.
Absolutely. She has a supporter and a friend for life right here.
Absolutely. Now to the Knicks. Let's get to the Knicks now.
Now to the Knicks.
Let's do it. So don't mind him. Hey, the Wizards are in 10th place, bruh.
Yeah, what you want me to say? What you want me to say to 10th place? Like, be in the play-in? That's what you want me to say? I feel you.
But Liz, check this
Still
out.
got Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
There you go. The $250 million man right there, man.
You know,
Still doing his thing, man. Hey, Porzingis doing his thing.
We ain't going nowhere, man. That's just what it boils down to. And I would love to talk trash about, oh, y'all not going nowhere neither, but this ain't the time to be a hater, so I won't be.
Yeah, don't be like
That's
Stephen A.
respectful.
Yeah,
That's respectful.
Yeah.
I won't be. I don't have an issue with the Knicks. I just give him shit because he a Knicks fan.
Yeah, he just hates the teams I like to root for, even if you
Knicks.
don't got beat.
I hate the Ravens. I don't hate the Knicks.
Okay. We'll see about that. But check this out, Liz. 38-27, 5th place in the East. It's looking really great. Jalen Brunson, the rate on return is looking great right now. How are you feeling about this team going forward?
Oh my goodness. You from experience, you try not to get too excited, but the excitement is definitely there. I mean, 7 in a row. I haven't lost since, we got Josh Hart. Could be 7. Maybe he brought a heartbeat to the team. I don't know. But Jalen Brunson has done, went beyond expectations so far. And so many people, trashed that signing. You spent too much. He's not going to be worth it. He's injury prone. So just to see all that, like, just getting thrown out the window, or you see people, they backpedaling like Deion and mill walking like Michael. It's a lot. That.
Yeah.
So it's just good in there. They're connecting. You see the chemistry, and they're having fun. Like, when is the last time we saw them on the court just smiling and dapping each other up? I mean,
yeah.
Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, IQ. That's my man right there. I love IQ, but they're just gelling, and it's hard to find that. So when you see that chemistry, and that chemistry even carries over to the locker room. So when that, that's there, and you can take it off the court and everything is still there, it's a beautiful thing to see. Julius Randle, we was ready to ship him out a few months ago.
Yeah.
Knicks fans, you know what? I love us, but we're a special group.
Oh, yeah.
Leon Rose, we were ready to ship him out. It was his 3rd-year anniversary today. Here we are.
I was ready to ship the coach out along with him.
Tibbs was ready for Tibbs to go.
Yeah.
Get him out of there. Now we're excited when he gives a little smile. So I just think we, I say we like I'm playing point guard, but just went from kind of, no air to all the oxygen.
Yeah.
I mean, the feeling is just incredible, so it went from, Jalen's not going to do anything. He's going to be, a bust when he comes here, to, oh, you all might get the play-in, to, oh, well, you all might get a 4th seed. Now it's, oh, well, y'all will get bounced in the first round. Goalpost.
Yeah.
What's going to be next?
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, here comes the next question as I attempt to move the goalposts. What do you feel are your projections then? How far can you go?
Yeah, what's the ceiling?
The ceiling,
because the first round exit.
Some people talking Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not ready to go there yet. But I could definitely see the team securing the 4th seed, maybe even the 3rd seed. The East is not as strong,
right?
As we can see that. I'm not thinking championship though. I don't think that is the ceiling. I think there's still some building to do there, but I could see semifinals. Lock me in for that. Go ahead,
lock you in for the conference semis.
Lock me in.
Okay. You're better than me. I tell you what, you're better than me. So my ceiling for this team is, and it's really based on what the other teams are doing. Like, we know Boston and Milwaukee, we know that's the cream of the crop in the Eastern Conference. The Sixers, but the thing with the Sixers is you got the Doc factor, You got the James Harden factor. You know what I'm saying? Like they could screw up and end up out of these playoffs early too. So I'm not putting Philly in the conversation with Boston and Milwaukee. I'll put them in the conversation with what Cleveland is doing and what we're doing right now.
Right.
Right now for me, based on what everybody else is doing in the East, the ceiling for me is a hard-fought 7-game series in the first round, and we kind of fall short. And I think it's more so because when you look at the other teams, like, for example, and everyone's talking about Cleveland possibly being the first-round matchup regardless of who's got the home court.
Right.
Donovan Mitchell will be the best player in the series.
Yeah, he's been ridiculous.
Hands down. He will be the best player in the series.
Right.
So if we're talking about who's going to get the basketball at the end of these games, who's going to make the clutch shots, who's going to be in a game 7, whether it's in Cleveland or whether it's at the Garden, who's going to be the dude to take them to the next round. I don't know if the Knicks got that yet. Jalen Brunson has been clutch for us in moments this year. Donovan Mitchell, that's a different beast. That's a different dude right there.
We get a preview tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get a preview so we can, can definitely get a little more kind of, gauge what the, get a little feel. But, I think, RJ worries me. Sometimes not really worried about Brunson. Randall's pretty strong. So yeah, I can see that. But with what you just said, with those other teams, that's why I'm giving them semifinals. I just don't. You have your Bucks. I'm definitely with you there. You have the Celtics, but I just think that the Knicks could get there.
Okay.
So in your mind, the Knicks are the 3rd best team in the East.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
I like that.
Yeah.
No argument.
I like that.
Right now. Right now. Obviously.
Right now. Okay.
On this day.
I like that. I like that. Question for you though. Your opinion about the notion that if they go out in the first round against Cleveland, that the season is a total failure because of the possible acquisition of Donovan Mitchell that didn't go the way most Knicks fans thought it would go. And by the way, this is Stephen A. Smith, actually. That's his kind of narrative that he's putting out there. Yeah, he won't let it go. He won't let it go. And
I mean, can you blame him in some respects? Can you blame him?
Yes.
Okay,
and maybe it's just me. And maybe it's just me because
it's not just you. He's I don't know.
Look, I am highly critical of Stephen A. not letting shit go via Kyrie Irving. So I'm highly critical.
He will hold on to it. You do not want to make an enemy out of him.
That's a fact. But
man.
I mean, I guess my pushback is that as well as Brunson is doing, and clearly I looked it up, he's doing well. If the world, in a perfect world, you'd have rather had Donovan Mitchell, right?
Of course we would have.
Right.
Of course we would have.
So you would want Donovan Mitchell because kind of what you're saying in a series.
Yep.
If this happens, you're talking about maybe Cleveland having, I mean, in a multiverse somewhere, you're talking about Cleveland maybe having Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell being with the Knicks, and now you're saying in a game 7, your Knicks are definitely going to beat Cleveland.
Right. And just to correct you, Brunson wouldn't have been in that deal. RJ would have been in that deal.
I'm only talking a multiverse. I'm just talking about hypotheticals that really have nothing to do with nothing. I'm just saying that Cleveland wouldn't have that guard who's going to totally shut shit down when it's time to shut shit down.
Sure. Yep.
With Wild, so even though Brunson is good, we don't know that, and obviously he's shown flashes in Dallas. Like, we know he's capable, but we know Donovan Mitchell is, popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready talent.
Yep.
So, I look. It's hard to nitpick when your Knicks is doing as well as you're doing, but I kind of get where Stephen A. comes from bringing it up, because I think he recognizes that where you could be with that defense, and then having that alpha scorer who any given moment might pop off and score 50.
Right. I think what he failed to realize is that the price for us to get Donovan Mitchell was totally different than the price it took for Cleveland to get Donovan Mitchell. And that's and that is the what's dude's name? What's the Utah GM's name? Danny Ainge.
You talking about Danny Ainge?
Yeah.
Danny, I'm gonna fleece you and get as many picks as possible, Ainge. Yes.
Yeah. And that was the Danny Ainge factor. It was, look, it's the Knicks. I'm gonna get everything I can from this team, and if it don't work, then here's Cleveland. Because what did Cleveland give up? They gave up Markkanen and another player with a couple picks or something like that. Yeah. Like they wanted 4 picks from us plus RJ and Grimes and maybe Obi Toppin. Like
an arm, a leg.
Yeah. He wanted the Kane's ransom.
Yeah, but look, at the end of the day, the only way I could see this being like some type of a poetic ending is if Donovan Mitchell like absolutely cooks y'all in that series. If that's what y'all end up doing, okay, then the conversation for sense of content has to be brought up. Like, bruh, that dude, like, that's the legit reason why y'all didn't get out of this series. The dude that y'all could have had on your team. And
it will. That'll be the headline.
That'll be the narrative. Yeah,
100%.
That'll be the narrative. I agree with that.
And it'll be a 180 again. It'll go this way and go that way. It's, kind of already prepared for that because you know it's coming.
It's coming, right? It's coming. It's 100% coming. I mean, hell, if a game 3 happens and Donovan Mitchell goes crazy, score 55, and y'all lose that game.
Of course.
The headline is coming before
in Madison Square Garden.
Of course. Oh my goodness.
Of
the
course.
Is coming.
A double nickel in Madison Square Garden.
It's coming.
Of course.
It's coming.
Of course.
It's coming.
And don't let us get swept in this series. Now that'll be a failure. Like if you're talking about what would be a failure for the Knicks is if we got swept by Cleveland.
I agree.
Or really
that
if we get or even if we got swept by Philly, which I don't see happening, but if we got swept by the Sixers, it's a failure.
Yeah.
To me, you got to take a series of 7 games for me.
Okay, series of 7.
Yeah.
I'm on the page. I'm on that page.
Okay. All right. So, Commanders fan. It's so much. It's so much to talk about, man.
A lot.
I had somebody, I'm gonna start with the Redskins theme song that was going viral. I forget the artist's name, but the reason why I'm starting is because I run studio sessions in my apartment. So I mean, if you've seen the amount of people who have been trying to recreate Commanders theme songs and shout songs. Throughout here, it would be it's hysterical. But how do you feel about the state of the Washington Commanders? Obviously, Carson Wentz is gone. Whatever stock you put into Sam Howell being named as the number 1 quarterback this early in the offseason, Eric Bieniemy being hired, just kind of give me how you feel. How you feeling about the state of the Commanders right now amidst them being getting ready to be sold?
And Dan, I was gonna say, and Dan Snyder being petty still in the sale.
It's so much.
I mean, it's so much. Definitely. I mean, obviously, happy about Eric. You have a 2-time Super Bowl winning, offensive coordinator coming in, offensive coordinator, slash head coach, and he's already started making some changes and putting a staff in place and ready to work. As far as, Sam Howell, there were some flashes of that's who we have to work with right now. That's who we work with. Just don't bring in another, 85-year-old quarterback. Let's see if he can make it. I mean, those days should be over.
Yeah.
Not doing that anymore. But a lot, you guys, is kind of dim. Like you want to look towards the future. But as long as Dan is here, it just seems like it's this cloud.
Yeah.
It's this cloud. And, we had flashes, and I'm a little seasoned. So I've been around for the 3 Super Bowls. I've felt that energy more so, the last one when I actually got to celebrate.
Right.
But,
right.
I mean, the whole energy and fan base is just, it's flatlined. So I think once you move that part out of the way and it gets sold, I mean, right now, what is it? A different story. It's this accusation. He spent $4.5 million for basically putting a fat head on the side of the plane. Like it's something every day, almost to the point where it's exhausting, where you want to focus on football and what the team is doing, but you can't.
Yeah.
Because you have this gnome still hovering over the team. And this pettiness isn't going to work. And then the thing is he going to be able to let it go? And we're not seeing that. Yeah. And now you finally, first it was just Jim Irsay speaking up. Now you have other owners starting to chime in like, come on, it's time. But I feel like he's going to go out kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to hold up the process from the team, doing what they need to do, even though, Ron Rivera says, oh, it's not going to affect anything. Jason, oh, it's not going to affect anything. We're doing stuff here. But it does.
Yeah, it's an energy thing.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just ignore it.
Yeah.
You try to, but you can't.
Yeah. The players.
When it comes to players signing here, who wants to come into it's like going over to the house and you look across the field and you see all that drama. Oh, he's fine, but I don't want to go over there. It's drama.
Right.
It looks, but nah.
I don't even know if it looked. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know if it looked.
The command. Are you as a free agent with the Commanders be attracted to you right now?
Yeah, no.
I'd
stay in Pittsburgh.
Especially with the report card that just came out.
Yeah,
I
saw that.
That Claire Huxtable would read you for filth for.
That's crazy.
That is horrible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
F minus for treatment of family. They even gave the cafeteria a D. The food not good.
That's crazy.
The facilities, and if you think with it being that bad, imagine the morale that's in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like you can't feel good. You can't, And we'll go back to our man Deion. Look good, feel good,
play good. That's it.
That's right.
That's it.
So it's just so much all that it needs to get cleaned.
Yeah.
So we can truly focus. We got Eric in here. He can start building his team. Start working with Sam. I mean, the first thing he said to him is, oh, I'll work with you. Oh, we're going to be in touch. Let's get it started. Because he's got the tools,
Yeah.
You got Terry, you got Dotson. I mean, it's a nice looking offense that can be put together. Defense, just franchised Deron Payne. So, getting that cleared up, I'm not, Jack Del Rio is Jack Del Rio. Sometimes that play calling has me saying words that I don't tweet out.
I know that's right.
And I'm like, where are the calls coming from? Come on, Jack.
Yeah, 100%.
Come on, Jack.
So, Liz, I'm curious to get your thoughts because they played the Niners, I think, in week 16, and everybody knew they weren't going to beat the San Francisco 49ers, but then in the middle of that week leading up to the Browns game, they decide, let's take Heineke out and let's put Carson Wentz in. And we all saw how that played out. They lost the playoff spot, and that was kind of all she wrote. Like, what were you thinking when that announcement was made that they were going to go back to Wentz?
What are you doing? I mean, when you have someone in there that has a rhythm, you don't pull it out.
Yeah.
You don't mess up the flow. He's on beat. He's gelling. With the offense, they're clicking. I don't understand where that decision came from. And Ron Rivera basically told everybody to kick rocks when he was asked about it. We never got a clear explanation why. It was just, I felt it needed to be done, or this is something I wanted to do. But no, what was your reasoning? What did you see that we didn't see?
Yeah, and more than that, he didn't even realize that where he was in the playoff season. So
that's the other crazy part. How don't you know that as a coach? When he said that,
I asked a question to I have a resident Commanders fan that loves to come and argue with me. He came to me and argued with me about my Devin Booker take last week. Like, he just likes to come and argue with me. And I asked him, I said, well, and I don't wish this on him, and I don't, and it just is what it is. But it would seem that move with putting Carson Wentz in and not knowing your playoff season, that's certainly a fireable offense, right? Like, in your mind, it's certainly a fireable offense, even if you didn't know to say it out in public. And then I straight up asked, do you think that age and attrition is starting to affect his mental capability to be an NFL coach, Ron Rivera? And I know it's a lot. I mean,
and because of his health, his
right,
health,
yeah,
and
right.
dealing with the chemotherapy and everything, and I've seen how it's affected people. I can't speak from a personal perspective, but I'm sure that took out a lot. Whether it affected his decision making, I don't know, because he made some questionable decisions in Carolina.
True.
So, so I don't necessarily think it's there, but to your point, as far as this team and the decisions, I would be okay if they decided to mutually part ways.
Right.
I would love to. We all, I think, would love to see what the enemy could do in that position.
Yep.
Right.
And for me, getting that / assistant coach, I don't know what the chatter is behind, but that just kind of gave me a little, oh, I see what's going on here. New ownership, the talks behind to get him to make a lateral move, even though it says, oh, I'm going to, to prove myself, get away from Andy Reid. It wasn't just that. There's more to that, and there's some promises being made.
Which he shouldn't have to do, by the way. He shouldn't have to make a lateral move.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But he would
should have been in a head coaching position just from that press conference.
Absolutely. But you could see, you could understand him making a lateral move if he was made some promises.
Yes. Absolutely. And I do believe, because a lot of people have asked me, well, Liz, that doesn't make sense. And they've, called me and everything. And I'm like, there's more to it than what we're getting on the front end. I truly believe that. And again, adding that, how many times we don't see too many offensive coordinator / assistant head coach. That title isn't just thrown around a lot. There's been a few out there. I can't think of the top of my head, but I've seen it before, but it's not something that's just, out there, the regular. So
is LaShawn McCoy a hater?
So,
is he being shady?
From what the other players were saying, that he made him hold that ball like a child. He hold this ball. And the benching, it definitely sounds like it. No one co-signed it. If if no one is co-signing you,
right?
Yeah, and everybody is saying the exact opposite.
Yeah, I mean,
or maybe that's how he felt.
Yeah,
and how he saw. And everybody has a right to their own experience and how they feel. But to bring that and say he's not going to, do a great job because I felt this way.
Yeah. Now, if he would have said Eric Bieniemy might not do well because of the organization, then I could understand his point. But he went on to talk about him not coaching, calling plays with Andy Reid, and he kind of took it to a level where it's like, yo, dude, like even a guy like Charkandrick West, who I forgot was a running back in the NFL, came out and spoke up for Eric Bieniemy. So when that happens, Shady, you got no shot. Like, you got no shot to prove yourself.
and especially when it starts sounding like it's personal, that it's not necessarily all.
And we know Shady McCoy didn't get a lot of playing time in Kansas City, obviously. So
and he spoiled Avengers in game. So
Mm.
can we really trust him now?
Yeah. Only pushback I'll provide. Because I agree. I think LaShawn McCoy is hating, and he. Well, I'll say it seems that way. I agree with you. It seems that way because like I said when I was talking to Trey about it, if the Commanders' offense is trash next year, I mean, maybe it's not his fault, but you have to at least come back and say, well, what happened as a leader of an offense? Is that, I mean, am I off? Like he at least has to come into question because the way I see the Commanders offense, now I've said this, I've literally had arguments about is the Commanders the best wide receiving core in the NFL, and I said no, but they are up there. Just logically, I mean, just when you look at everybody else,
Cam Sims.
Yeah, when you look at the field, they are up there. The running game is good. Offensive line, like they just needed a quarterback and some better play calling. That's what they needed. So, I mean, maybe you don't have the quarterback yet. We don't know, but there is a reason we could say at the end of this season, this next upcoming season, that Eric Bieniemy maybe wasn't the best at this if the offense isn't bad. If it's bad, I'm sorry.
I mean, if you go to what were we, 8-8-1, you go from 8-8-1 to 6-11 or 5-12.
Right.
Yeah, there's a conversation that could be had there, but I'm going in with reasonable expectations.
Yeah. Right.
Based on what we have and based on Sam Howell, I'm not expecting him to become, Patrick overnight.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't have those kind of expectations, but
or over 10 years.
I do expect to see improvement in the play calling because North Turner's son.
Yeah.
We kind of blamed him for the quarterback switch after the San Francisco game.
Who's
come
Scott
to
Turner?
find out.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't him. But some of those play calling, especially on third down, Are you watching the game? And as soon as we would get the third down, I'm like, oh, what is he gonna call? It's gonna be ridiculous, and it is.
Yeah.
Or it was. So again, moving him out of the equation, I'm like, this offense could do so much more because the talent is there.
Yeah.
So, like you said, once you go, you go in and see what the enemy is going to do. And if he's not grabbing that talent and elevating it with his play calling, then yes.
Yeah.
There's a discussion.
There's at least a discussion to be had.
Right.
Because it could be, because players play. It don't matter what you call it. The players don't execute, then they don't execute. But,
Hey, Liz, did you have a preference of quarterback before they named Sam Howell the starter?
Who was left?
I didn't.
We talked about Derek Carr.
Oh, you mean free agent?
Free agent, yeah.
Big Fromm is there too, sitting on it. Remember him?
I forgot he was in the league.
But not really.
Okay.
Not really. But when it came up to that switch again, if somebody's clicking and they have the rhythm, you don't pull them.
Right.
So,
right.
So I did have a issue with that. But as far as again, the quarterback situation, not ideal.
Okay.
You need someone to run the field out there, and Commanders just didn't have that.
Yeah, I was more so talking about like the free agent quarterbacks. Derek Carr is out there.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers is possibly going to get traded. Like, did you have like a preference other than Sam Howell, knowing that there were going to be quarterbacks that were going to be free agents, possibly traded?
Is Justin Fields on the table?
Hey man, it depends on what y'all willing to give up.
Can we go up 95 and get Lamar?
I was just about to say, don't even say Lamar. Don't even say Lamar.
Hey, he might be. Hey, the way they playing,
they not letting that happen though.
The game's Baltimore.
Hey, what the Steelers working with? Mike Tomlin got somebody we.
Man, hey, you want Mitch? We give you Mitch. You can have
I'm
Mitch.
sure you would. Give it.
You can have Mitch. You can have Mitch. Look, you have Mitch and Mason. Mason's still there. You can have Mitch and Mason. Just give me a ham sandwich.
That's it.
That's it. A ham sandwich.
Plain, no mustard.
Plain.
No
I don't want no deli mustard, no lettuce. Just the bread, toasted bread. Put a little toast on there, and some ham on there, and you can have Mitch and Mason.
But
Guaranteed.
you can't have Lamar though. I'm sorry. They won't let him go down the beltway to that team.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna. That's why I said it.
Yeah, but you're not. He has to admit. And again, and Trey, I'm still with you. They get the deal. They get something done.
They get something done. Yeah,
I think so too. They're not. I don't think they'll let him go.
But he turned down the franchise tag. He didn't sign it. Let's be clear. He didn't sign it.
Well, they still have time.
Of course they still have. Of course they have time.
No. They have time to decide whether to tag him or not.
Of course, but he's saying that he ain't going. He don't. That's not what he wants. Or that's what's being reported. Let me say that.
Well,
it's being reported that he don't want that.
Well, the fact that we're at this point, we're what, 3-4 days into the period to tag players,
absolutely,
and the fact that he hasn't been tagged tells me that there's still some progress, still trying to work through some things. I just don't like all the drama that's coming out. Like earlier today, you had Rashad Bateman tweeting out, taking shots at the general manager because of what he said at the combine about not being able to draft receivers properly and stuff like that. And you got J.K. Dobbins complaining about not getting the ball at the goal line in the playoff game. And you got all kinds of like drama. The strength and conditioning coach that got fired from the Ravens now. You got former players coming out. You got current players coming out and talking about, this dude should have been let go years ago. Like the previous year where we had all the injuries. Like y'all decided to bring this dude back. So it's all kinds of drama. I'll be honest with you. I don't give a damn about any of that right now because the Knicks are, making me in a good mood right now. The Knicks have me in a good mood, and it's basketball season for me right now. So I'm gonna let the Ravens do what they do, get the deal done. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about no combine. I don't want to hear about no upcoming draft, free agency. I don't want to hear nothing about that.
You don't want to hear nothing.
No rumors. No rumors.
No, I don't want to hear nothing about that. I don't care. The Knicks are giving me some life right now. I'm in a good mood.
That's not what his Twitter feed say though. His Twitter feed got him retweeting Ravens situation. So, but I feel you though. I ain't trying to steal your joy.
Hey,
yet,
that's on Twitter though.
Yeah.
You say we keep it over there. Keep it.
Yeah. Y'all work that out.
Where do you be finding your gifts at?
Me?
Yes, you. You got a response. You got a response for everything.
Like with it too.
Yeah.
You know where I find a lot of my good gifts and memes under replies to viral tweets. If you click on a viral tweet, there's always some good. I go shopping under there, and I'll start clipping. I'll clip the videos, the memes. I'm like, oh, this is material. Thank you. Yeah. I get asked that question a lot though, but
because you it's like you see
just pop in my head, and I'll just do a quick Google search. Like I'm like,
fast with it.
This reaction is gonna work perfect.
That is a talent. That is a talent, Queen.
It's funny that y'all say that because I actually, and I'm kind of mulling over it. I got an offer to go to my alma mater to basically teach how to tweet, how to interact, how to engage.
Wow.
So the president of my alma mater, VSU, follows me. And he sent me a message. And he said, I would love for you to come. And he's like, how to do that, interaction. I was like, I guess I got some talent somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely a talent.
It's just me. Like, I'm like, this is just,
it's not like you got a team. It's not like you got like a PR team behind you, doing all these gifts and all this stuff. But
she replies too fast to have a team. I am a victim.
It's just me. I have three screens working, because people say, oh, you have this many tweets, and I'm like, it takes me a second.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. You one of the reasons why my phone is so loaded up with nostalgic songs, because you be
I love
you be
nostalgia.
retweeting them, like them R&B joints. Like
Yes.
the one joint you retweeted, which I forgot there was a video for, but the Bobby Brown Getaway song.
Getaway, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot there was a video for that joint, and I had
did a
that
dance
joint.
routine to that.
Did you really?
Yeah, when I was trying out for the Virginia State Woo Woos.
Wow.
I made the squad.
Hey.
Nice.
hey.
But yeah, just I try to make my feed for the most part positive. I kind of go off into my, into when I see stuff and I kind of, want to call it out a little bit. But other than that, I try to keep it fun. Keep it with the sports, keep it with the music, keep it light, because you guys, a lot of stuff, even with sports, you're not going to get anywhere online. You're not going to get anywhere on Twitter. We're better off having this conversation that we're having beyond you telling me, Dennis Rodman wasn't good because his PPG was low. I'm ready to go in and give you, I'm ready to go battle with you. But then, I go to the person's page and it's a lot of those hot takes. And it's like, I wasted my time. I wasted my tweets, because no matter what I show to you, you're not going to believe it. You're going to keep in your head that Dennis Rodman wasn't a great player because he only scored 2.5 points a game.
Right.
You're not going to realize his role was to be a rebounder and get the ball to the scorer.
Right.
His role was to block.
Right.
His role was to play defense.
Right.
I wasted 4 tweets.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? That's my fault.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
Well, I am blessed. I am blessed to not have your the weight that you have as a high volume tweeter and a popular tweeter, because I can get my little nonsense takes off, and really don't too many people really, I don't get too much static about my tweets. So and to be honest with you, I feel like if God willing I ever get into that position, I'd probably just ignore it. I'd ignore them.
Oh yeah, I ignore a lot. The stuff that I do reply to, there's a lot of stuff that I don't, or there's nonsense, or I just mute, leave conversation, keep it moving. But I will say now that I don't have the Twitter blue, my interaction isn't as frequent or as often as it was. That has taken
you ain't paid the $8,
effect.
huh?
But if I do have a quote unquote person with a name to them and they retweet me, that's when a lot of the
right.
Or
How you
this
feel about
account,
Twitter blue?
I forget who followed me.
Yeah.
I'm tweeting something and then I realize, oh, Teddy Riley's following me. Vince Carter's following. Like, I didn't realize all these names are following me.
Right.
And sometimes I'm like, do I need to tread lightly? Because I'll put some stuff out there and not know that person is following.
Wow. Yeah. But ain't that the fun in Twitter, though? Ain't that the fun in Twitter? That's the fun in it, where you say something about somebody and then the person you're talking about be like,
respond. I got a Smokey Robinson response. I'm like, how does he keep up with all them songs?
Yeah.
They're my children.
Right.
Then we had a little dialogue because he's written over 5,000 songs. So
easily.
And I said, well, are you sad? Or like when you write My Girl and I've got so much honey, the bees envy me, like that's deep.
And quite frankly, Smokey Robinson, you have a few favorite children, and some of them children you don't necessarily care the most about.
Right.
You can tell Smokey Maestro said that shit.
Right. So it's like, wow, responded to me. Roberta Flack responded to me one time. I was like, wow, Missy Elliott. I was like, oh, wow, it's that's kind of the fun thing about Twitter, though. You have the people you don't know that could possibly respond to you. I don't like the @. That's a no for me.
Yeah,
like if I'm tweeting about somebody and then at them and bring them, I'm like,
yeah, don't say nothing about Kevin.
I will block people for that. I will block them if I'm talking bad about Reggie Miller. I don't need you to add him.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
I know I call him Cheryl's brother, but sometimes that doesn't even work because somebody will still add him. Yeah, what do you think, Reggie Miller?
Wow.
Yeah, don't say nothing about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant gonna reply back.
Oh, he's got
he got the smoke. He got all day for you.
I think he's replied to me a couple of times. It's been a long time ago, but yeah, he'll reply. So I'm like, do you search or somebody at snitching? Like, how do you know I tweeted this?
That has got to be a lesson in your class when you go do the etiquette. When you go, you got to add that. No, you have to add it.
There's etiquette, removing me from the conversation if it no longer applies to me.
Yeah.
That's another one that just like y'all just went into your whole separate conversation. Remove me. I don't need to be in this conversation anymore. But now they have leave conversation, so I can just click and I'm out of there.
Man.
Like you can see my but it's grayed out. So I'm not getting those notifications. So professional. You've been in it. You ain't new to it. You're true to it. How you feel about Twitter Blue? How you feel about that? I mean, I get he's got to get some of his 44 million, but I just think paying for it. I just,
no.
And even for the perks, that they're getting, it's not really even. Doesn't seem like it's worth it to me.
Yeah,
I'm good on that. But if it comes to a point where everyone has to pay and they have to subscribe, I'll probably leave.
Yeah.
Did you guys at least give it a thought before deciding I ain't gonna do it?
I looked at it.
Yeah, I definitely looked at it.
Yeah, I looked at it.
I thought about it.
Well, I'm already getting those.
Here's what I can't justify: paying $8 knowing I got 400 followers. I can't. Like, what is this?
It's 11 now.
Yeah. Oh, 11 now. But for me, that check mark don't, like, for me, I don't have a lot of followers. That don't make sense to me. Like, what does that mean? Does it just mean that people are more privy to reply to me because I have a check? Like, I don't.
The algorithm is somewhere different.
Yeah, the algorithm. That's the notion that people will give you more interaction because you have that verified because they have this thing.
I mean, I kind of want that, but I don't like people most of the time anyway. So
nah, it went up $3. I'm not getting it no more.
Yeah, I wouldn't get it at 8. But...
Yeah, I just he's like I said, I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
It's still fun. It's good, good interaction. There's good people and being able to find out news right away while hoping it's correct news. That's
right.
Because I see a name trending, and I get freaked out. Like you have James Earl Jones trending, and I'm like,
right.
Gets you nervous. Right. Is he okay? Is he okay? You wanna,
I love when you do that, Liz. Like you be taking the snapshots of the trend, and then you be like, yo, this dude's trending, but I don't know why he's trending, y'all. Like. Like I love when you do that.
I didn't know why Kevin Hart was trending. I didn't know.
I still don't know.
Yeah.
Because when I looked at my trending list, I didn't see his name anywhere. So
no, he was definitely trending. And apparently, everybody was just posting memes about like pictures of him.
With his pictures, I joined in a few.
Right.
Because that picture of him and Joel Embiid next to each other is hilarious.
Right.
Yeah.
No one knew why he's trending. And then some stuff I'm like, hey, you all don't even look at this. Right. Like it's some craziness.
Yeah.
And I try to give warnings. Like let me give you an alert. Don't even click on it.
You are certainly showing me where I am lacking in Twitter because I never look at trending. I never go around it. If they don't show it on my timeline when I'm scrolling, I pretty much never see it. And
that's a newspaper for me. When I log on to Twitter, I even have like a system. I post my prayer. I like your shirt. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good.
Yes, ma'am.
Inspirational quote. Start rolling, and then I hit the trending topics and I read it and see what's going on and see what I need to do about. And then sometimes it's stuff that people tweeted from overnight, and it could get some crazy. I clicked on Ebony. I'm thinking it's about the magazine. Wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad I wasn't in the office setting when I clicked on it. Let me just say that. So.
Yeah. Right.
You gotta.
Right.
I realized a few months ago that Twitter Spaces is just not for me. And I guess it was a thing that I was doing when I was working from home at the time because of the pandemic. But I'm in the office, 4 or 5 days a week now. And I really don't got time to be in nobody's Twitter space. Now, if somebody's talking something interesting, I might, pop in every now and then, but I'm not looking to get in there and speak my piece or really listen to anybody for that long. Like, I give all those people props because people be living in them Twitter spaces.
Yes, I hop in. I like to hop into, well, the Knicks is interesting, but I've hopped into some Steelers spaces, some Wizards spaces. But you know who I found the most entertaining? And I'll just listen for a little while. Jets fans after a game. Oh,
Wow.
my
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It could be
goodness.
bad. It could be bad.
Yeah, I just, I never speak. I just listen. I've gotten in some Commanders spaces, but sometimes that goes left, and it's like, you know what? I'm not, I might give a comment here and there, but
yeah, my fear, and not really fear, is I don't want nobody to talk crazy to me in no Twitter spaces.
right.
I don't know you. Yeah.
That happens.
And see, that's the thing. And
yeah.
Trey will tell you, I got a bad habit of, sir, you not gonna see me in real life, so keep your mouth shut. Cause this could go left. Sir, I try to be. I will disagree with you, but it's always gonna be a respectful disagree. And even if you feel like I'm being disrespectful, I'll take it. I'll dial it back just because I don't want you. We just in here talking shit. Like, don't be disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's
Right.
people who did that. I couldn't sleep a couple nights ago, and I got on Twitter to see what was going on. I went to a space, and it was TJ Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew, nephew, and they were going off on him, and I'm thinking to myself, I would have hung up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not talking. You're not talking to me, that way, because he made what they felt was a side comment about Janet, but he was saying, I'm not disrespecting my aunt, but this is how I'm going to raise my daughters. I would prefer for them not to be as free, but she's an adult. I love my aunt, but they were tearing him up, and he's like, you don't know my family. This is my family. And I said, I would have ended it there.
Right.
I'm a Jackson.
Right. At the end of the day.
Yeah. Right.
And I would have been, see, that's the thing. Yeah, I'm not for the whole bunch of yelling online. I'm not. For
Yeah, I mean, they were yelling and saying you're disrespectful and you're not a good nephew and you're not a. I was like, oh, and I'm listening like,
it's toxic.
Yeah.
Got to get out of that space.
I couldn't have did that.
It's a whole bunch of people that wouldn't say those things in his face.
In your face, yeah.
Facts.
And have you all had that Twitter experience where someone has said something to you?
I run from it.
And you see him in person?
I've
run
from
that
it
3 times.
Oh man, Liz, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I fight. Let me be very clear about it.
Yeah.
Let me just be clear about it. I fight. I confront people, and if we can't come to some type of agreement with words, and I'm like, well, sir, then that just means we got to fight. And I'm that clear, and I'm that clairvoyant about it. We got to come to fight. And because, sir, I don't want to fight. Let's be clear. I don't want to fight.
Right.
But you're not gonna keep talking to me this way if I'm saying don't talk to me this way. And if you still feel like, all right, well then what's up? And then the hands is being thrown.
So Liz, quick story here, and Maestro knows the story. So last year in the NBA, right? So the Sixers are playing. I think they're playing the Pistons. It was one of the last few games of the season, and they were trying to fight for seating and stuff, right? And the Sixers, they lost to the Pistons. And I thought, they trying to avoid Milwaukee or one of these other. No, they was trying to avoid the Nets. That's what I was saying on Twitter. So this dude, and I don't know if this was a burner account or Tyrese Maxey might have been behind the scenes or something, but this dude just comes out of nowhere and replies to me and says, "This take is as trash as your podcast." Somewhere along those lines, right? And so I was like,
about that.
And so I'm like, yo, like, I'm talking about your. He obviously was a Sixers fan because he had a bunch of like Sixers, Eagles stuff in his avatar or whatever. And so I'm like, look, man, I'm just keeping it real with your team, bro. Like, I think your team is scared, to go up against the real, dudes in the East, whatever. And he was like, yo, like, don't be talking reckless about my team, whatever. If you bout that, I'll come see you, whatever. He was like, yo, drop the Addy. I was like, this nigga just threatened to come meet me somewhere? He wants this?
Right? Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
And that's when I say, thank God Trey runs the podcast Twitter account.
But yeah, that again, it's the keyboard warriors, the online courage, because the 3 people that I experienced in front of their face, here I am. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But again, like you said, Maestro, if we have to go,
then we gotta go.
Then we gotta go.
That's not who I am, but I'm gonna defend myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not like.
I'm not even gonna defend myself. I'm gonna swing first.
Just gonna swing first. Yeah.
Hey, sir, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna say, sir, is this something that we can't resolve with words? Yeah. And if you say anything besides no, I'm gonna punch you in your face. Or yes, we can resolve this. Then I'm gonna punch you in your face.
Yeah, and my 3, it kind of had one with a woman, and she actually apologized, and the 2 with men. One guy actually went the other way when he saw me.
Wow.
I'm like, what do you think I'm gonna step to you? Like, I'm not, fighting you. And then the other guy actually came in, apologized.
No.
But then, you have the ones that you're not gonna see. And what I don't understand, like you said, you're talking about the Sixers, but he immediately went personal and insulted your podcast.
Right.
So I said this a few times. Why do you have to get personal? Let's keep it on the field. You want to insult the Commanders, the Knicks? Let's keep it there. But when I had a Commanders fan go to my page, go to my pinned tweet and say, I see why he left you. And it was a tribute to my brother who passed in 2020. I'm not gonna lie, that hit me. Usually stuff online don't hit me. I'm like, well, but you screenshot and put my tribute to my brother and said, I see why he left.
It's grimy.
Nah,
That's not so it's like
fighting. That's fighting. That's fighting words.
And it was over Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that anyway, but you really coming at me for Kirk Cousins?
For some sports stuff.
This was your response?
Yeah.
Because I think Kirk had did something, probably threw one of his famous interceptions in the fourth quarter.
Sure.
It was something, but that was your go-to response to come at me?
Liz, thank God we are grown up. We some better people than we were when we were youth.
I'm not.
I mean, the thing is, you know how people can see your tweets? I didn't even have to go at him. I mean, they went full throttle. I think someone even found his address.
Right.
But I'm not going there. But they were that mad for me. Like, how dare you go there?
That's crazy.
They were ready to roll. So.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I ain't see it, cause I'd have been in there with them too. I'd have been in there with them too, cause that's it was just unnecessary. Like call me a name, call me ugly. So I'm like, you gotta go there, but no, I don't even like that.
Not my loved one. Like don't.
Yeah. I don't like that either.
Again, why do you want to go start getting personal?
Personal.
Yeah. Like I seen somebody calling. I seen somebody calling Rita ugly. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm like, hey, nah, bro. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
We're not going for that.
We ain't doing that.
We're not going for that.
Yeah, and it's just like she pushed down your argument intelligently with facts and thorough, and you had nothing else to come back. So that's where you want to go to something that's not even true, not even close to true. You had nothing else, Mr. Sportsman.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Liz, I got one last question for you, and this is why you're so special, because you're leading me to the only time that we ever talk hockey on this podcast. So, and in light to LeBron breaking Kareem's record, I think that's one of the.
I got my Ovi jersey.
Yeah, you shoulda. I think what LeBron did, that's one of the more precious records in sports, right? Shout out to the Caps right there. I know y'all not having a good season right now. But,
no, not at all.
But do you think because Ovi, I think, is gonna break Gretzky's record in all-time goals. How you feel about that?
You know what? Those were the great one. He'll always be the great one.
Right.
I know the discussions are starting to happen. Who's better? Love OV, love the Caps. It's Gretzky.
Yeah, Gretzky's Gretzky.
It's not there. There's no challenge. There's no let's debate like what's going on with LeBron and Jordan and
right.
There's nothing there. But he's about 80 goals away. He did 50 last season. He's at 30 some odd now.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he's able to stay healthy, I see the 2024-2025 season he could break it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's 38 years old, right?
Yep, he's 38 years old.
Yeah.
But hockey, they
you can play a little later.
You can play when you're 41 years old.
Yeah.
You could get there. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's been going through, some personal things, and of course the team overall. So it's not been a positive season for the Caps. But before I didn't think it could be a possibility. If you asked me this question a couple of years ago, I would probably be an emphatic no.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Right,
but,
right.
Yeah, but now I can see it, and I hope that I'm actually at that game.
Yeah, I hope he breaks it.
I'm gonna have to be,
I hope he breaks it.
Close.
Yeah,
because y'all know, as far as the Caps, besides the Nationals, but the Caps has really been the ones that have been, as far as sports teams, kind of keeping DC
right.
even talked about. Even though hockey isn't the most popular sport, but we have a superstar here. Ovi is that superstar.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So,
He's in my eyes, he's top 5 DC athlete all time. In my eyes.
Yeah, I'm with you. Absolutely. And again, like you said, you don't normally talk hockey. He's made us. I mean, I've always loved hockey. I've been a fan for a long time, but more people started getting into hockey because of the superstar that Ovi is. If we didn't have Ovi, you're not going to have, it went from me being able to spot like people in the crowd to me saying, hey.
Right.
The fact that he stayed in DC. The fact that he stayed in DC is special, right? Because
very special.
They just traded Patrick Kane to the Rangers just the other day, and he won 3 cups with the Blackhawks, and so you don't see a lot of players stay with one team, really, in any sport for that matter these days. But the fact that Ovi stayed in DC and has kind of put the Caps, on the map, won the chip, broke a streak, a championship streak a few years ago. That's special.
And there's still 5 players left because Lars Eller got traded a couple days ago. So it's still 5 players left from that team. But again, the team is back to, okay, we got to get some pieces in here, and we got to get some younger pieces in here. Right. So I can see, someone asked me yesterday, what do you think about the Caps trading away these players? They're trying to get younger.
Yeah.
You need that youth factor in here to, to get back to that point. And right now it's not happening. But I was there for the banner raising, and it was just amazing to be able to see a team that I like, where I'm able to celebrate and have a drink. I wasn't able to do that with the Commanders.
Right.
And truly celebrate a championship was incredibly special. I want to see the Knicks do that in my lifetime.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Well,
yes. Hey, Liz, I envision this whenever the Knicks win a championship. I'm gonna rent me a bus. I'm gonna invite you. I'm gonna invite Maestro. I'm gonna invite Chief Rocker. I'm gonna get all the Knicks fans up on the bus. We're gonna drive to New York. We're gonna go to the Canyon of Heroes, to the parade route. And I mean, you thought Eagles fans are crazy after they won. Let the Knicks win a chip. They might burn down the city.
It's gonna be bananas. And Maestro, actually, let me ask you a question, because I've seen it. So I follow a lot of Caps fans and Commanders who, of course, DC all the way. They're also Wizards fans.
Right.
And there's been a lot of discussions lately, and I've just, I observe a lot of stuff about Ted Leonis and his attention when it comes to the teams. A lot of fans feel like there's more energy towards the Caps than the Wizards. Yeah. Like, do you feel that way as well?
Yeah,
not really...
Absolutely. I mean, Look.
But we just want James Dolan out of Knicks business. He can focus on.
I was gonna say they say the same thing about Dolan. Dolan interested in the Rangers more than the Knicks.
I mean, quite frankly, I guess you would have to say that there's probably more potential for money for a team that has more recently won a championship. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing that maybe that's what it is. I mean, look, Wizards. I haven't been to a Wizards game in a long time, but I know they don't sell out.
Yeah, they go into deep discussion and a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't comment or retweet because Ted follows me.
Yeah.
And when that button was clicked, I'm like, who? I know you didn't follow me. It has to be someone, your assistant, who is following me. Like, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a Cavs fan, but yeah. So so when he first followed me, I'm like, this is a mistake. He's not going to follow me long. Man. And then of course I lost my account. I came back, been there for almost a year, and I clicked, go over there, follows you.
Political connects, girl. You got tough.
It never, no interaction, no any. And I'm like, are you scamming my timeline for material? Which has happened to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you about that with Sports Center. I got a apology from Tony Reale because he said, one of my quotes on Around the Horn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And when you have, I call them my Twitter family, they jumped in and said, that's at Lizz's locker room. You stole that from her.
Oh, wow.
He followed me and he's like, oh, maybe I did. So he apologized to me on air and on Twitter to say, my bad. I just, and it was, you don't know how I do little silly things. It was about Kawhi. And I was like, Kawhi, tell him that is human nature. And he did that same thing. And everybody was like, whoa.
Wow.
Like,
and that's,
I see some stuff get stolen from me, and I don't care if whatever. And I'm like, I know where you got that from, but I'm not like, oh, that's mine.
Right.
Yeah, but if the stuff I don't want to share, I keep for myself. And once you put something out there on the internet, like if Maestro tweets, blah 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 blah, and I take it, you put it out there.
Yeah.
Or Trey, you put it out there.
Yeah. Right.
Hey,
Liz,
I thought that was cool of him, but
that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Liz,
I've had some stories.
I know. I want to know them, but
right. I don't think I ever shared this with you, Liz, but I think the only crime that Ted Leonsis committed when it comes to the Caps is not paying the coach when he won your chip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Boudreaux. Yeah.
Like who does that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That made me sad. That did make me sad. And that's another thing I feel like, okay, is there some more to it? Was there some Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones stuff going on behind the scenes? Because it didn't make sense.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. You're
Interesting
right.
point. Yeah.
Right. Because, Jimmy Johnson went back to back. You're like, bam. But as we know now, it was some serious personal beef. He won't even put him in their ring of
honor. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, so for it to happen like that, I'm like, okay, there's what don't we know?
And he got his justice too, because he went to the Islanders and then knocked y'all out the playoffs the following year.
Oh yeah, he was smiling. He was smiling.
Is that you throwing shade at DC because you a New York person?
No, I
just had to check.
No, it's not, because he should have got his bag from the Caps.
I agree.
Yeah, he absolutely should have. I get that a lot though. How are you a Commanders fan, the Knicks fan? There's a lot of people that are fans of
different teams.
Different teams.
Absolutely.
It is what it is. There's no rule that you have to like every team because you're from that area.
Yeah.
That's the case. I'm a Marylander. I should be a Ravens fan. Yeah. I am an Orioles fan. I didn't switch to the Nationals when they came from Montreal, but
right.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
There's no rules.
No rules. I agree. Liz, let everybody know where they can find you in case they want to follow you. And I know you got enough politics and drama going on around with your tweets, but just in case our listeners want to know where to find you, where can they find you?
They can find me at Lizz's Locker Room at LIZZS_locker room, or if you're a hockey fan, I'm at Love the Puck.
All right,
absolutely.
There she is, Liz. This was great. Thank
Yes,
you
man.
again. You family on this show. In the history of this podcast, I would have to say that you're a big part of this family of this podcast right now. So
Yeah.
Thank you. And unlike that, whatever that guy said to you, I enjoy your podcast. I listen to it, and I love that you all bring in different perspectives, especially a female perspective, because even though we're moving forward a lot, there's still some people that think backwards. So
yeah.
it is appreciated that you all show love.
Absolutely.
Because if we talk in sports, it don't matter what we got in front of us or on us.
Mm-hmm.
We love the game.
That's it.
No doubt.
That's it.
No
And
doubt.
y'all smarter than us. I say that all the time. Y'all way smarter than we are.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. So, Liz, thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You.
We're gonna have you on again sometime. I don't know if it's later in the year or.
We might have to make it a yearly thing. We might have to make it like a little anniversary thing.
Yeah,
Just let me know.
absolutely,
Now, I'm here.
absolutely. Oh, by the way, you need to do your own podcast too, Liz.
Everybody tells me that, and I've come up with some ideas with my brother. I would love for y'all maybe to maybe even have my brother on. The way we go at it, it's quite interesting. So I started planning some things, but I'm like, can I stay dedicated to it? Because I travel a lot with my job. I try to multitask, and it gets a little hard. But
Bring your podcast equipment with you wherever you travel.
That's it.
all right. So you'll come on my podcast?
100%.
Absolutely.
All right.
100%.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Step into Liz's locker room.
That's
Absolutely.
it. I like it.
All right.
I like it.
Y'all, you know where to hit us up at.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Be safe.
All right. Be
All right,
safe
you
in them
too.
streets.
All right.
All right,
All right,
folks.
go Knicks.
Yep. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's Lizz Robbins, DC area native, former model. Make sure you check her out on Twitter at Liz's Locker Room, Liz's _locker room. Dope stuff, man. Glad to have her back on, man.
Yeah.
So don't got a lot of time left, but I did want to bring up this thing that happened with University of Alabama, with Darius Miles, Brandon Miller, and I forget the other kid's name, but the incident that I think I texted you the link to the story.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't read all of it because there was a lot going on when I tried to read it.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's the culprit, who told who to bring the gun where, who, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure you're going to let feel me.
Yeah, I'll breeze right through it real quickly. So all three of those guys, they play on the basketball team, by the way. Mm-hmm. Out at an event someplace, wanted to holler at a female. Female blew him off. Next thing you know, Brandon Miller, I think, is back at his suite. Gets the text from Darius Miles, says, "Hey, bring me my gun." Brandon Miller brings the gun to the site. The report in the police document said that his vehicle, his being Brandon Miller, that his vehicle was blocking in the female who was also in the vehicle at the time. And Darius Miles shot and killed this young lady, and rest in peace to her. And shout out to her family, and is a little girl that doesn't have her mother anymore, which is sad. But
yeah, I kind of wish you didn't bring that up. That's
yeah,
it is.
It sucks.
Depressing way to end. That's a real depressing way to end the show.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't. That wasn't my intent to do so. But the real opinion I wanted to get from you, is that as a result of this tragic event. The police brought in Darius Miles. They brought in the other kid. They did not bring in Brandon Miller, who I guess in Alabama state law that there is no such thing as being an accessory to a crime or something along those lines. So Brandon Miller wasn't charged with anything. He continued to play basketball games for the team. Now, I think that following game after the whole, after they arrested the other two guys, he dropped 44 points, I think. I think he hit a buzzer beater to beat whoever they played.
I don't give a
I don't either. I'm just telling you the story here.
Okay.
But the issue is, and I think it's a big issue for me too. The dude is playing. The dude is playing in these games. The coach seems very what's the word? He seems very like
he's ignoring the moral issue because he's an important player on the team, and he's obviously performing, hoping that the wins will get rid of his sins.
Tone deaf.
Maybe tone deaf is one way to explain it. Another way is you lack morale. You a trifling ass person. Not only the coach, but Alabama as a basketball and sports organization that feel like this motherfucker should be playing basketball when he was an accessory to killing somebody because she wouldn't holler at him.
Yeah,
it's sucker shit.
Yeah, it's disgusting, man. It's disgusting on all levels. And the university, I'm gonna call the university out because it's not just the coach, it's not just the assistants, it's not just the AD and whoever, it's the university. And this is gonna be a story, right? Like we're in March. This is tournament time. This is going to be a story, and this is going to be brought up every time these guys take the podium. It's just not something that's just gonna go away. They were ranked. I thought they were ranked.
Good.
Yeah,
they were good.
I thought they were ranked top 5 for a while. But I'm not saying that you're saying this, but them being top 5, being one of the best basketball teams because of this guy, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Just because the state isn't charging him doesn't mean that Alabama can't lay down their own punishment for his involvement, because he was involved with this.
At the end of the day, they would rather be the top 5s, whatever seed there is. They would rather be that team that has the opportunity to win the Final Four with him on the team than be the authoritative figure or the morale figure that says, "Hey man, you need to sit this one out because what you did was foul." And these are the tools, because it's not about, I mean, as much as we would like to think that college is the way where they should teach you the way to go, and like it's a business, just like a business, else. And they are obviously not going to be where they are without him playing, so he plays. And look, I get it, that's the way it goes, but I'm not going to sit here and act like that's okay with that shit.
Nah, it's not okay.
He should be reprimanded. He should sit out.
It's not okay.
And he probably won't. And to be honest with you, you saying it's going to be a story, I mean, I don't know that it is. Because to be honest with you, I didn't know about it until you sent me the text. I knew nothing about it.
Yeah, I hear you. When I say it's going to be a story, it's going to be a continuing story. Every night that this kid takes the court, that's what media people, they're gonna talk about this.
They're gonna ask him the questions.
They're gonna ask questions. They're gonna talk about this thing. They're gonna bring this up.
And then they're gonna say no comment. We're doing the due diligence. We're letting the police do their work. And then once we get more information, they're gonna do all the cop outs, and then they're gonna next question it. I mean, look, it's like the conversation. I forget who we had this conversation about where, even though it's going to be
Karl Malone, maybe? Was it the Karl Malone conversation?
No, we was talking about bringing, it was an NBA player. I remember who we were talking about, and I don't even think the deal happened. But we were talking about somebody who had baggage going into an organization. And I was saying that I don't care what baggage they have, you bring this player into the organization because of what they're going to do in the court. And you were contesting that, yeah, you do, but nobody wants to deal with that backlash. Look, the PR.
We're talking about Ime.
Yes, there you go. Ime.
It was Ime Udoka. Yeah.
It was Ime. Yeah. So the PR team is the PR team for a reason. So yes, of course, the questions are going to come about, hey, what happened? Why you out here murdering? Why, you know what I'm saying? Like all these types of things. Of course, it's going to come out. But the PR team is the PR team. They're going to get it out the way. They're going to no question. They're going to, whatever, and give you all the cookie cutter questions until it's boring to ask it, and then it goes away.
We'll see.
Especially if this dude continues the ball at March Madness. It's like he's not going to score 44 points in the Elite Eight, and then they be like, yeah, but what about that time when you was an accessory to a crime? They're not going to do that. They're going to say, oh shit, you scored 44 points in the Elite Eight. Mm-hmm. So that young lady who lost her life is not even important anymore. It's about basketball now.
Yeah. For in the eyes of Alabama, it's definitely about
in the eyes. I'm talking about the media though, Trey. The media is okay. Yeah, it's going to be a thing for a little while.
It's going to be a thing, and don't let other organizations, get involved and raise holy hell too, because that could be a thing also. I'll point this out too, in regards to it not being a law of accessory to a murder in the state of Alabama. If I'm that girl's family, I might be looking to bring some attention to that and maybe bring some change to that, hopefully. And that could be another group of individuals that continues to bring attention to this. So let it not be sponsors, groups, organizations that, bring attention to this, because I think if that happens, then it ain't gonna quiet down. The noise is still gonna be there. But if the media is the only people that's kind of putting it out there for a little while and then it dies off, then I see your point.
Well, I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. Let's be clear. Let me be very clear that I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. That somebody, and that they're not gonna just let this die, and the family is not gonna get over it, and they're gonna seek to fix the wrong the best way they can. But I'm not optimistic about it, bro. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would have never known this shit happened if you didn't send me the text message. I would have never known.
Yeah. I've been praying for these kids though, man. I pray anyway, but in the college landscape, there's been a bunch of stories.
I'm sorry, and I know this is your time to be positive, and I'm gonna let you be positive, but I need this to be clear in case it's not. Y'all niggas is suckers.
Yeah.
These types of niggas that don't know how to take no, and like oh, you see somebody you like and they ain't necessarily feeling you can't just move on and go about your business. Like, y'all niggas are suckers. Like, this ain't and off of them for a second. All you niggas that act that way towards women, y'all niggas are suckers.
It's disgusting, man.
But God bless, man. I hope y'all niggas do better for yourselves, man. Because y'all niggas need to do better for yourselves. Because one day, y'all motherfuckers gonna have kids. Y'all gonna have daughters. Mm-hmm. And imagine your daughter growing up, and because she turned down somebody's advance, she gotta lose her life behind that shit. Y'all niggas are suckers.
Yeah. It's been a whole bunch of not so good college stories lately. What's the kid, Jalen Carter?
Yeah.
From Georgia, got a warrant out for his arrest because of accident that happened on January 15th where his teammate was killed and then a staff member at Georgia was killed. Michigan State had an incident recently. Just praying for the kids, man, and the safety for these kids on these campuses, and the people that's gotta, be the guides and, the individuals that have to be the models, for these kids. Because it's they say this is the part of a kid's life where, reality starts to, set in. College, can do that to you. But again, man, thoughts and prayers to the families of people
affected, for sure.
Everybody affected for certain. You're right, man. I didn't. My intent wasn't to end this on a sad note, but some serious stuff that needed to be talked about there, man.
Jaylen Brown, bruh. Salute, my G.
Yeah, man. Get your sugar mama, man. So good. So good, yo.
I know sugar mamas. I know the term sugar mama is kind of, is like defined by that age, the age gap and all that. But
yeah.
Bernice is far from a sugar mama.
Yeah.
Salute, queen.
special thanks to Lizz Robbins for dropping through too. Dope conversations, and y'all be on the lookout for this episode. And let me give a quick shout out to Mike Patton. He was in the YouTube live chat earlier while Liz was on, so we appreciate the support from him. He's doing some great things also with his podcast and all that. Everybody else that's out watching us on Facebook Live, watching us on Twitter Live, we appreciate it. Continue to follow us on those platforms. Tell a friend to click that like button on the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, please. We got the Instagram account at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. If you want to email us with some questions or comments, barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com is where you can hit us up at. And if you listen to this podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, iHeartRadio, drop us a review. Let us know what you think. We certainly appreciate those as well. Maestro, man, if you got nothing else, man, it's been real. We toward the end of the week, but, that's a great thing. That's a great thing, Hey. So
I need some water.
It's all good, man. Appreciate you as always, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to next week's show, and everybody out there, y'all have a blessed week. Y'all be safe. We'll be back with another dope episode. And remember, folks, mind your own business.
Yes, sir.
Recording stop.